I'm 64 years old, and I learned the hard way that sometimes the people who drain you the most are the ones who should protect you. This is the story of how a heart attack taught me that boundaries aren't cruelty, they're survival. My name is William Harrison, and for 42 years, I worked as a civil engineer in Calgary. I built bridges, highways, systems that connected people. I believed in structure, in supporting weight, in making sure things didn't collapse. I applied that same philosophy to my family. I thought if I just kept giving, kept supporting, kept building, they'd stand strong. I was wrong. My wife, Diane, and I married young. She was 23, I was 25. Back then, she worked as a dental hygienist. She was good at it, too. But when our son Marcus came along, she quit. Just until he starts school, she said. Marcus is 36 now. Diane never went back. Marcus married young, too. 24, fresh out of university with a business degree he never really used. His wife, Portia, was everything Diane wanted in a daughter-in-law: polished, well-spoken, ambitious in theory but never in practice. They had one daughter, Sophie, who just turned 7. Sophie was the only pure thing in that whole mess. The pattern started small. 5 years ago, Marcus needed help with a down payment on a house in one of Calgary's nicer neighborhoods. Diane pushed hard. "What else are we saving it for, William? We can't take it with us." I wrote a check for $95,000. They promised to pay it back. They didn't. 3 years ago, it was Portia's dream car, a Range Rover. "She deserves to feel successful," Marcus said on the phone. "It'll help her confidence for the business she's starting." I paid $42,000. The business never materialized. The Range Rover got upgraded 2 years later. I paid the difference. Last year, Marcus called about their 10th wedding anniversary. They wanted to renew their vows in Banff at the Fairmont Chateau, then spend 2 weeks at a luxury resort in Maui. "This is a once-in-a-decade thing, Dad. We want to do it right. We want you and Mom there, too." The total package, including flights, hotels, the ceremony, everything came to $18,000. I hesitated. For the first time, I actually hesitated. Diane noticed. "William, don't be cheap. This is our son's marriage. This is important." She had this way of making frugality sound like betrayal. So I paid. Again. But here's what I didn't know then. Diane and Portia had been planning this together for months. Not the vows. The trip, yes, but more than that, they'd been coordinating. Shopping trips to Toronto for the renewal dress. Spa weekends in Vancouver to de-stress before the big day. Every expense landing on our joint credit card. When I questioned it, Diane got defensive. "I'm not allowed to have a life? I raised your son. I gave up my career. Now I can't even enjoy a few spa days?" The math didn't add up, but I ignored it. I was busy. My firm had brought me back part-time as a consultant after I retired 3 years earlier. 2 days a week, I drove to the office downtown, reviewed plans, mentored younger engineers. It kept my mind sharp. It gave me purpose. And honestly, it gave me an excuse to leave the house, where Diane's spending and Marcus's requests had started to feel suffocating. 2 weeks before the Maui trip, I was at the office. It was a Tuesday, late October. Calgary was already cold, that biting wind coming off the mountains. I'd been reviewing structural plans for a new overpass when I felt this pressure in my chest, like someone had parked a truck on my sternum. I thought it was indigestion. I'd had a big lunch, but then my left arm went numb, cold sweat. The room tilted. My colleague, Raj, saw me grab the desk. "William, you okay?" I tried to answer, but the words wouldn't come. The pain was climbing into my jaw, my neck. Raj didn't wait. He called 911 right there. The paramedics arrived in 6 minutes. I remember being loaded into the ambulance, the siren, the oxygen mask. One of the paramedics, a woman with kind eyes, kept saying, "Stay with me, William. We've got you." I remember thinking, absurdly, about the overpass plans I hadn't finished, about whether anyone would water the plants at my desk. At the hospital, they rushed me into the catheterization lab. A doctor I'd never met explained I was having a STEMI, a serious type of heart attack. "We need to do an angioplasty immediately. We're putting in a stent. Do you understand?" I nodded. He asked if there was anyone he should call. I gave him Diane's number. They did the procedure. I don't remember much except the bright lights and the strange sensation of being awake but detached, like I was floating above my own body. When I woke up in the cardiac ICU, it was dark outside. A nurse was checking my IV. "What time is it?" I asked. My voice was rough, my throat raw from the breathing tube they'd removed. "Just after 8 p.m., she said. "You've been out for about 4 hours. The procedure went well. You're stable." My wife, did she? The doctor called her around 2:30. She said she'd be here as soon as she could. The nurse smiled, but there was something in her eyes. Pity, maybe. Get some rest. I'm sure she'll be here soon. I drifted in and out. Every time I opened my eyes, I expected to see Diane, or Marcus, or even Portia, though that was a stretch. But the chair beside my bed stayed empty. A different nurse came in around midnight to check my vitals. "Still no visitors?" I asked. She looked uncomfortable. "Visiting hours are technically over, but we make exceptions for cardiac patients. I haven't seen anyone ask for you, though." The next morning, Wednesday, Dr. Patel came in. He was the cardiologist who'd done my procedure. Mid-40s, competent, no nonsense. "Mr. Harrison, you're very lucky. The blockage was severe, 90% in your left anterior descending artery. That's the widowmaker. If you'd waited even an hour longer, we might not be having this conversation. When can I go home? Let's see how you do today and tomorrow. If everything looks good, maybe Friday. But you'll need cardiac rehab, medication, lifestyle changes. This is serious, William. You understand that?" I nodded. "My family, did anyone call back? My wife?" Dr. Patel checked his notes. "I called her myself yesterday after the procedure, explained the situation. She asked if you were stable, and I said, yes. She said, let me see here. She said they had a trip planned and asked if you'd be okay for a few days." He looked up. "I told her you'd had a major cardiac event, that you needed support. She said she'd call back." Something cold settled in my stomach, colder than the fear I'd felt when my arm went numb. Did she call back? Not that I'm aware of. I asked for my phone. It was in a bag with my clothes. 12 missed calls, all from work. 3 texts from Raj asking if I was okay. Nothing from Diane, nothing from Marcus. I called Diane. It rang 4 times, then went to voicemail. I tried again, same thing. I texted, "I'm in the hospital, had a heart attack, please call." An hour later, she texted back, "I know." Doctor called. "Are you okay?" I stared at that message. "Are you okay?" Not "I'm coming," not "what do you need?" Just, "Are you okay?" I wrote back, "I had emergency surgery. I'm in the cardiac ICU. Where are you?" The 3 dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. Finally, "William, we're at the airport. The Maui trip is today. You know this. We've had it planned for months. The tickets are non-refundable. Marcus and Portia are already here. I can't just cancel." I read that message 3 times. Then I called her. She answered on the first ring. "William, I can't talk long. We're about to board. You're going to Maui. We talked about this. The renewal is on Saturday. Everything's been paid for. Diane, I had a heart attack. I know, and I'm so glad you're okay. The doctor said you're stable. You're in the hospital. You're getting the best care. What do you want me to do? Sit in a chair and watch you sleep? I want you to be here." "William, that's not fair. You know how important this is to Marcus and Portia. This is their marriage, their 10-year anniversary. We can't just—" I almost died. There was a pause. Then, quietly, almost annoyed, "But you didn't. The doctor said you're stable. We'll only be gone 2 weeks. I'll be back before you're even discharged. You're being dramatic. Dramatic. Look, I have to go. They're calling our boarding group. I'll check in when we land. Feel better, okay?" She hung up. I sat there, phone in my hand, trying to make sense of what had just happened. The nurse came in, saw my face, and asked if I was in pain. I said no, but I was. Just not the kind she could treat. Over the next 2 days, I got texts. Diane sent pictures from the plane. Marcus sent a selfie from the beach with Portia and Sophie. "Wish you were here, Dad." The exclamation point felt like a slap. Portia posted on social media. I didn't have Facebook, but Raj showed me. Photos of them at the resort, cocktails, sunset, Sophie building sandcastles. Hashtags, number blessed, number family time, number 10 years strong, number Maui magic. In one photo, Diane and Portia were at a spa, faces covered in mud masks, champagne glasses in hand. The caption, "Mother-daughter bonding. So grateful for this time together." I was discharged on Friday. Dr. Patel gave me strict instructions: medication twice daily, no driving for 2 weeks, cardiac rehab starting Monday, follow-up in 1 month. "Is someone picking you up?" he asked. "I'll take a cab." "William, you just had a major heart attack. You shouldn't be alone. I'll be fine." Raj offered to drive me, but I declined. I didn't want to explain. The cab driver helped me into my house, a split level in Bowness we'd bought 30 years ago, paid off 15 years ago. I walked in, and the silence was deafening. No Diane. No welcome home. Just stillness. I sat on the couch and noticed the mail on the coffee table. Bills, mostly. I opened them out of habit. Credit card statement. I scanned the charges. Spa in Toronto, $800. Hotel in Vancouver, $1,200 for 2 nights. Another spa, $600. Designer dress shop, $2,000. I looked at the dates, all within the last 6 weeks, all while I'd been working, thinking we were being careful with money before the big Maui expense. Then I saw something that made my hands shake. A charge to a law firm in Vancouver, Palmer and Associates, $3,500, dated 3 weeks ago. I Googled the firm, family law, divorce specialists. I called the credit card company. "I need to know if there are any other cards on this account I'm not aware of." The representative put me on hold, came back. "Yes, sir. There's a secondary card issued to Diane Harrison. Would you like me to go over recent transactions?" "Please." She listed them. More spas, designer stores, jewelry, restaurants I'd never been to. And then a transfer to a personal account, $45,000. October 8th. A transfer? To where? It's listed as a balance transfer to an account ending in 7,392. I don't have more details than that. I hung up. October 8th, 3 weeks before my heart attack. I went to my office, logged into our bank accounts. We had 3, checking, savings, and a retirement account. I checked the savings. It should have had about $210,000 money I'd saved over 40 years. Bonuses, careful investing. The balance showed $162,000, $48,000 missing. I checked the transaction history. Transfers out, $5,000 here, $10,000 there, lump sums of $15,000, $20,000, all to an account I didn't recognize, all over the past 18 months. I sat back. My chest hurt. But it wasn't my heart. It was rage. Pure, crystallized rage. I called the law firm in Vancouver. "Palmer and Associates. How can I help you?" "I'd like to speak to someone about a consultation I believe my wife had." "Diane Harrison." "1 moment, please. Hold music." Then a woman's voice. "This is Jennifer Palmer. How can I help you?" "My name is William Harrison. I believe my wife consulted with you recently." "Mr. Harrison, I can't discuss client matters without—" "I'm not asking you to. I just need to know. Is she planning to divorce me?" A pause. "Sir, I really can't. I just had a heart attack. I'm trying to understand if my wife has been planning to leave me while spending my money to prepare for it. If you can't tell me, I'll assume the answer is yes." Another pause. Then, carefully, "Mr. Harrison, I'd recommend you consult your own attorney. That's all I can say." I thanked her and hung up. I sat in my office until it got dark. Then I made a list, a very specific list. On Monday, I took a cab to a lawyer's office downtown. Gregory Chen, a sharp family law attorney Raj had recommended. I brought all the financial documents, the credit card statements, the bank records. Gregory reviewed them with the calm of someone who'd seen this before. "How long have you been married?" 40 years. This is substantial financial misconduct. The transfers, the hidden spending you have grounds for a very strong case. What do you want to do?" "I want to protect what's left. I want to separate our finances immediately, and I want to make sure she doesn't get another dollar. We can file for legal separation. Freeze joint accounts. I can have papers ready by Wednesday." "But William," he looked at me over his glasses, "are you sure? 40 years is a long time. She's been planning this for over a year. While I was working to support us, she was funneling money away and consulting divorce lawyers. She chose a vacation over my heart attack. I'm done being the bridge everyone walks across without noticing. Understood? Let's get started. By Wednesday, the papers were filed. I had the locks changed on the house. I opened a new bank account in my name only, transferred what was left of my retirement savings. I canceled all joint credit cards. I called Marcus. He answered on the third ring. Ocean sounds in the background. Dad, how are you feeling? I'm home. We need to talk. Can it wait? We're literally at dinner right now. This place has the best. No, Marcus, it can't wait. I've filed for legal separation from your mother. I've frozen all joint accounts and canceled the credit cards. When you get back, she'll need to find somewhere else to live. Silence. Then, what? Dad, what are you talking about? Your mother has been stealing from me, transferring money to hidden accounts, hiring a divorce lawyer, planning to leave me while spending everything I've saved. And when I had a heart attack, she chose your vacation over being there. So I'm done. Dad, that's insane. Mom wouldn't. Check your own finances, Marcus. How much of your life has been funded by me? Your house, your cars, this trip you're on right now. And what have you given back? Where were you when I was in the ICU? You said you were stable, Mom said. I had a widowmaker heart attack, Marcus. Do you even know what that means? It means I could have died, should have died, and not one of you thought that was worth interrupting a vacation. Dad, this isn't fair. We had this planned. So did your mother. She's been planning to leave me for over a year. Ask her about the law firm. Ask her about the money. And when you're done asking, lose my number. I hung up. My hands were shaking, but it felt good. Clean. Diane called 10 minutes later. I didn't answer. She called again, and again. Finally, I picked up. William, what the hell is going on? Marcus just called me screaming about separation papers and frozen accounts. What did you do? What did I do? Diane, you've stolen nearly $50,000 from our savings. You hired a divorce lawyer, and when I almost died, you got on a plane to drink my ties. What did you think I was going to do? I didn't steal anything. That's our money. Money I earned. Money I saved. While you were planning to leave me and spend it all before you did. This is insane. You're being paranoid. Palmer and Associates. Jennifer Palmer. $3,500. October 8th. Want to explain that? Silence. I spoke to her office, Diane. I know. I've known for days. I've been sitting here, recovering from a heart attack alone, going through every bank statement, every receipt. You've been preparing to divorce me for over a year. You just wanted to drain the accounts first. Her voice changed. Colder. Fine. Yes. I consulted a lawyer. Can you blame me? William, we've been roommates for 10 years. You work, you come home, you barely talk to me. I gave up everything for you and Marcus. And what do I have? A husband who treats me like an expense report. I gave you everything. You gave me money. That's not the same thing. And now you want to punish me for planning a future because I knew you'd never leave. You'd just resent me forever. You chose a vacation over my heart attack. The doctor said you were stable. I could have died, Diane. But you didn't. And I'm sorry. But I'm 61 years old. And I've spent 40 years putting everyone else first. For once, just once, I wanted to do something for me. Is that so terrible? I closed my eyes. Get a lawyer, Diane. Don't come home. Stay in Maui. Stay wherever you want. But you're not welcome here anymore. You can't kick me out of my own house. It's my house. I bought it before we got married. Check the deed. My name only. Your lawyer will confirm that. I hung up. She called back immediately. I blocked the number. The next few days were a blur. Marcus tried calling from different numbers. I didn't answer. Portia sent a long email about how I was tearing the family apart, how Sophie was asking about Grandpa. How could I be so cruel? I deleted it. Diane's sister called, screaming about what a heartless bastard I was. I hung up. But then Raj came by. And something shifted. He brought groceries, stuff for my cardiac diet, fresh vegetables, lean proteins. He didn't ask questions, just unpacked everything, made sure I had my medications organized. You're coming to dinner on Sunday, he said. My wife insists. Don't argue. That Sunday, I met his family. His wife, Priya, their 2 daughters, Priya's mother. They treated me like I mattered. Not like a wallet, like a person. We talked about engineering, about cooking, about Priya's work as a teacher. Nobody asked for anything. Nobody expected anything. When I left, Priya hugged me. "You come back any time, William. You hear me?" I started cardiac rehab. 3 times a week, supervised exercise, group sessions with other heart attack survivors. There was a woman there, Eleanor, 68, a retired librarian. She'd had her heart attack 6 months earlier. Her husband had left her 2 weeks after, said he couldn't handle being with someone broken. We started talking during cool downs. She understood. "My kids haven't called in 4 months, she told me one day. They're angry. I'm selling the house I paid for, because I can't afford it anymore on my own. They wanted to inherit it, I think, but I need something smaller, more manageable. They act like I'm stealing from them. They think they're entitled to it," I said. "That's exactly it. Entitled. When did our children become creditors?" I thought about that a lot. When had Marcus started seeing me as a resource instead of a father? 3 months after my heart attack, Diane served me with divorce papers. She wanted half of everything, including the house, the retirement accounts, spousal support. Gregory laughed when he read them. "She's not going to get any of this. We have documentation of financial misconduct, proof she was planning this while diverting assets. We'll counteroffer." We did. I offered her $20,000, a fraction of what she'd stolen and nothing else. She could keep whatever she'd hidden, but no house, no retirement, no support. Gregory said she'd fight it. She did, for a while. Then something happened that I didn't expect. It was April, 6 months after my heart attack. I was at home, working in the garden. Dr. Patel had cleared me for light activity, said it was good for my heart. The doorbell rang. I almost didn't answer. But something made me. It was Marcus, alone. He looked terrible, thinner, dark circles under his eyes, unshaven. "Dad, can we talk?" I didn't move from the doorway. "About what?" "About everything. Please. Just 5 minutes." I let him in. We sat in the living room, this awkward silence between us. Finally, he spoke. "Portia left me." I didn't react. 2 months ago. She'd been having an affair with her yoga instructor. Apparently it had been going on for over a year. She said she'd been unhappy, that I wasn't ambitious enough, that she married me thinking I'd be more successful. He laughed bitterly. "Turns out she married me thinking you'd keep paying for everything. When the money stopped, she got bored." "I'm sorry," I said, and I meant it. Not for Portia leaving good riddance, but for Marcus, who looked genuinely broken. "Sophie asked about you yesterday. She said, 'Why doesn't Grandpa come over anymore?' And I didn't know what to tell her, so I told her the truth. I said Grandpa was sick, and we went on vacation instead of staying with him. And she just looked at me and said, 'That was mean, Daddy.'" His voice cracked. "She's 7 years old, and she understood what I couldn't." He wiped his eyes. "Mom's living with her sister now. She's still fighting you for money, but her lawyer told her she probably won't get much. She's furious. Keeps calling me, wanting me to testify on her behalf, to tell the judge what a good mother she was, how you're being vindictive. But Dad, I can't, because she wasn't there either. When you were in the hospital, she didn't even seem worried. She was annoyed, like you'd inconvenienced her. You were there too, Marcus. I know. And I've spent 6 months trying to justify it, telling myself you were stable, that the doctors had it handled, that we couldn't just waste all that money. But it was bullshit. I was selfish. I've been selfish my whole life because you made it easy. You never said no. You never made me stand on my own. And I took advantage of that. We all did. I didn't say anything. I'm not asking for forgiveness," he continued. "I don't deserve it, but I wanted you to know that I see it now. What I did, what we all did, and I'm trying to be better. For Sophie, if nothing else. I got a real job sales manager at a tech firm. It's not glamorous, but it's mine. I'm selling the house, getting something smaller. Portia's going to fight me for support, but my lawyer says I have a case because of the affair. I'm done living beyond my means. Done expecting handouts." He stood up. "I should go, but if you ever want to see Sophie, she misses you. I'd understand if you don't, but the offer's there." He walked to the door. I stopped him. "Marcus." He turned. "Bring her by on Sunday, 2 o'clock. Just her. We'll go to the park." His eyes filled. Yeah. That Sunday, Sophie ran to me like no time had passed. We went to Beaumont Park, fed the ducks, talked about school, about her drawing classes. She didn't ask about the divorce or the money. She just wanted her grandpa. And for the first time in months, I felt something other than anger. I felt hope. Marcus started bringing her every other Sunday. He never asked for money, never made excuses, just showed up, dropped her off, picked her up. We didn't talk much, but it was a start. Eleanor and I started having coffee after rehab, then dinner. She made me laugh in a way I hadn't in years. No pressure, no expectations, just companionship. The divorce finalized in August. Diane got 30,000 and whatever she'd hidden. I kept the house, my retirement, my peace. She tried one last time to reach out through Marcus, asking if we could talk. I declined. I'm 65 now. I still consult 2 days a week. I see Sophie every other Sunday. Eleanor and I are talking about taking a trip to the East Coast next summer, just something simple, no pressure. Marcus is rebuilding his life. We're not close, not like we were, but we're civil, honest, and that's worth more. I learned something from that heart attack. Precision matters, yes, but so does knowing when a structure is unsound, when to stop reinforcing something that's collapsing from within. I spent 40 years building bridges for other people to cross. I forgot to build one for myself. The hardest lesson? Love without boundaries isn't love. It's enabling. It's teaching people that your value is in your wallet, not your presence. And when the money runs out, so do they. If you're reading this, and you see yourself the endless giver, the silent provider, know this. It's okay to say no. It's okay to protect yourself. It's not selfish. It's survival. The people who truly love you will stay when the support stops. The ones who don't, they were never yours to begin with. And sometimes, cutting off the poison is the only way to keep your heart beating.